Oh, I'm sitting here in this line and um Spirit gave me the rest of a message that I had got earlier today when I was scrub a dub and then the dub it. Okay. And Spirit gave me a message that took it further, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to share this with the butterflies. And so welcome back to the channel, y'all. Welcome back with me, the alchemy doctress, honey. Okay, where we are all about living out loud in our life, our money, and our purpose through the energy of our ancestors, and where I also teach you all how to be alchemists, how to be alchemists with your energy, the lemon that life has given you, all of that. Of course, as soon as I start recording, the line starts moving. I was literally sitting there, y'all, for at least 10 minutes before the line even moved that first time. So, whatever, I'm still going to continue the message though. You are a part of the number. This message is not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but for who it is for, you are a part of the number. And that's where the addition of the message came in at, was the number is the number of those who are meant to lead and push the culture to the next generation. And the vision that I was getting was like the vision of Noah's Ark, for example. Noah's Ark, it was said to, have had two of each animal so that they can continue along civilization, right? But this is in the instance of, you are a part of the number that's going to save humanity, in the sense of, as we're living in a time where, I don't fight against AI. AI is something that it's here. Okay. We have to learn how to work with it, but don't let it take over you. Okay. 222. I've been seeing 222 a lot. I actually saw it on a card plate. Oh my gosh. Let me show y'all. But y'all know I get so dang on distracted, and it happens so freaking fast. See? So you are a part of the number that is called to help shift the culture. You're called to help shift the culture. And everyone has not been given this call, okay? And know that some people have been given the call
Please
and they're
fasten your
choosing not to
seatbelt.
answer it. Look at me up here. And they're choosing not to answer it. I'll be right back. Let me park. We are back. So don't be afraid to answer the call, okay? Because everyone who's getting the call is not going to answer. And honestly, we need as many people to answer as possible, okay? And what you need to understand, with you answering the call, you are being set apart. You're being set apart. So you're being called to walk away from doing some of the things that you used to do. You're being called to shift perception of some stuff. You're being called to change some things up. And the reason why you're being called to change some things up is because you're being entered into a totally new space, into a totally new space. And you're being prepared. And the thing of the matter is not that Spirit is saying that those things that you were doing or you used to do was bad. I want to get my, hold on. Ooh. It's the sense of, sometimes being involved in certain things or being in certain spaces after you've reached a certain level, it could be potentially bad for you because of who or what may be around in that space. And so it's like, just because of association and you being in the same space, you get caught up in something. 444. And the changes that you're being called to make is being called to keep you out of being caught up in something or with something that you don't need to be in, that you don't need to be in. Okay. And so the messages that it came to me earlier and I sent them in, was that there are going to be people who are going to be a little upset with you because you don't move the same way that you used to move, or you don't do some of the same things that you used to do. You don't go the same places that you used to go to. And the reality is that it's not your responsibility to make them understand why you're changing and why you're doing something different. It's not your responsibility to teach them and show them. It's your responsibility to show up authentically in your energy and to be pure to those decisions. Because the only person that you gotta, speak up to is ancestors, spirit guides, and higher power. And these messages came through at 444. And so, as this message is only for a select group of people, know that what you're doing and what you're creating and what you're called to create, you're there to help push the culture to the next phase. Like, the work that you are doing, it's giving Harlem Renaissance. And what's so crazy is that the Harlem Renaissance was literally exactly a century ago, the 20s, the 1920s. And it was getting into where we had the Depression and all that other stuff, right? The financial aspects, but then you had the Great Depression where all of our famous writers, I won't even say famous because they are cultural staples in our community. They're cultural staples in history. So you had the writers, you had the musicians, you had the artists, you had the um, actor. It was the arts that kept humans going. It was the arts that kept the soul alive. Don't lose the arts. The arts speak to the soul. It keeps the soul there. It's like the arts is the way to live out how you're feeling on the inside. It's a way of expression. And if you're called to this message and you're in that number, you are somewhere being called to be a leader in the arts. Your name will be known 100 years from now because of the things that you did during the time when people were afraid or scared or worried about what was to come, what was happening. You kept them feeling better. You kept them feeling good. They felt seen. They felt understood. They felt heard. I love how the shadow of my locks are on my skin. This is a big role. And I know a lot of people, we need to realize that the greats, they weren't just focused on the money, they were focused on how they made people feel. People remember you by how you make them feel. When you just dealing with the money, that's when you start getting into opportunistic people and people who ain't like they just there for. It's like getting to the realness. Get to the realness. Allow yourself to be in that number. Don't lose connection to your soul and your arts because that's what's going to shift the generation. That's what's going to shift the culture at a time where people are feeling like they don't have hope because you are the hope bringer. You're the hope bringer. You, yes, you. So it's my hopes that whoever this message was for, that you are able to receive it, that you don't lose that spark inside of you. And we need to remember that there are different roles in the revolutions. There are different roles in the growth. Everyone's not on the front line fighting, marching, crying. Like everyone's not on the front line. Some people are writing down and keeping the history so that now, 100 years later, we have the stories to be remembered and reminded of the times. The music that carries the soulful, living frequency. Enjoy the season because you're called to be in the season for a reason. I thank you all for being here. As a reminder, today is the last day to register and enroll in the Butterfly Effect School of Transformation for the monthly option. For those of you all who want to be a part of like the cohort with the weekly coaching, we have get-togethers, yoga. I have an amazing therapist coming in who's going to be hosting parent support groups monthly, as well as you have access to all of the workshops that are happening inside of the school. So if you feel called that this is your season, come on through. If not, that's fine too. Okay. I've had people in the comments like upset that I talk about my school, and I'm like, I'm not forcing you to get in, you know? It's for those who feel like this is the season of their life and they feel this is the space that they want to be in and that they want to grow in. It's not a requirement, baby. I'm not, but I gotta let the people know so that they know this is an option. Okay. But I thank you all for being here. And as always, always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. Okay. I love you all. And I look forward to seeing you as a part of this renaissance because it's happening. Okay. It's happening. And you're in that number. So accept your role. And I want to know in the comments if you're accepting your role in that number. List your number down below. What number are you? What number are you? I love you all. And as always, always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your